Hello, anyway, you were wondering about about page, contact us pages, that kind of stuff. It's like often, just do a quick about page covering what exactly your site's about, yourself if you want to, include your hobbies, your interests, whatever you want. About us pages can be useful in some cases for people to build a working relationship with you or whoever's running the business or people who are actually doing the work, content, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't have to be too complicated, too fancy. Doing like 200 words covering what you do, what the site's about, your hobbies, your interests is generally sufficient. You can in some places get more sales, more traffic, whatever, if your about us page is good enough. That's a potential thing you could do. It will also boost brand recognition or brand success in some cases regarding having a good about page or having it in general. You should generally have some sort of contact form, whatever, in place so people could contact you. I respect you got it down here at the bottom, but I think in general having a contact us page would make better sense in most cases. And regarding what you were asking about keywords, that kind of stuff, Google itself will generally be able to find your keyword or keyword phrase in most cases, whether it's in the image or wherever else is in the site. Just let's go with Musk one and we'll just discuss that one. That'll give you ideas. Any word you put in a page, a post, or whatever will be basically counted by Google when they do generally the rankings for a site or gauge your content. Google itself can sometimes make mistakes in different words. For example purposes, let's look at the word dude. You could argue dude is a friend, a male friend, a skater friend, a camel hump, whatever. So Google itself can sometimes get confused. You put words like, say, dude or something which has got more than one meaning. Google can get confused and then think it's about something else when it's not. So you have to sometimes give information to Google to help it process information, such as if you were going to do, say, a skater site, include content about, if you're going to include content about, say, skateboards, Tony Hawk's, whatever, that kinds of stuff, as a potential thing to show it's about skateboarding, rather than dude it's in like a camel's hump. If you're doing obviously a camel hump or camel site, then having content in relationship to camels, images, that kind of stuff, which would then make sense, or camel milk, whatever you want as a whole. And in regards to your images itself, if you put in a description, like for example, purposes saying, for example, if you put, just say you put as your image, I haven't actually checked it, but just say you put your image, say, Pakistan, best program, Pakistan, Elon Musk, whatever, you would then get found by Google because Google would then use your description to count that as a word. So you can actually, in some cases, by putting content into, say, images, allow you to rank more easy for keyword or keyword phrases. Since Google itself will generally count all word or words in regards to what is in your page, your post, or anywhere else in most cases, including videos, infographics, or anything else which Google itself can process as words or keyword phrases as a whole. So, I mean, if you were wanting to say rank for keyword news, Google itself would include that one as a potential thing you could rank for. Recently, word, Starlink, has, started, every basic word here will basically be counted by Google in most cases. For example, Islamabad, Karachi, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but you get the idea. Every one of these sort of words itself, they will generally count when it comes to what potential keyword or keyword phrases your site itself should rank for. And you were asking as well about, with regards to, is a site harder to rank if it's new or impossible? It's definitely harder to rank a new site compared to a site with age or backlinks or history, that kinds of stuff. But I mean, there's ways to get around that by doing things like, I mean, you could, for argument's sake, buy a expired domain, an auction domain, whatever, and then do a 301 redirection from that site to this site. That would then give you the age or authority or some of it from the old site to the new site, as a way you can basically get the website out of the sandbox as a whole. I know some people argue that sandbox doesn't affect, or it's not real, it's a made up story. I've seen it does happen, not always. And you can, in some cases, find, for whatever reason, your website itself can rank really easy, even though you just say built it today, tomorrow, whenever. That does potentially happen, but it's not a guaranteed factor. I mean, I've heard about some people who have spent like a year trying to get their site to rank for different things because for some reason Google doesn't like it or doesn't see it as valuable. That does unfortunately sometimes happen. You can be doing everything right in the world, and that can unfortunately sometimes happen. You could also be doing everything wrong in the world, and Google will allow you to rank. It just sort of always depends what's going to happen with regards to a website or an online business being able to rank in search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, Yandex, or anyone else you're using as a whole for search engines like DuckDuckGo and other ones as a whole. And that should basically give you some basic idea of things with regard into what could potentially rank, what could not. And in general for content, everything you basically put on your page, your post, or anywhere else that Google can find, it will basically allow you to rank for these sort of things. You're obviously not going to be able to rank very easy for something like news or recently, but it still gives you a potential you could rank for any of these keyword phrases as a whole by it being in your content or your post or your page or somewhere in your website which Google itself can index itself. You can as well, for example, someone put down, just for example here, someone put here the best video games, say Fallout 4, whatever, something like that, or Fallout 3. That could then potentially mean your site itself could, in theory, potentially rank for that in regards to your comment or comments. Not always, but it can sometimes happen as a whole. And that's basically the basics covered of as a whole regarding keyword things as a whole.